everybody, Sherry Leopold here. So excited to be here in this first episode of Wow Warrior. I have two incredible women of worth with me today. These ladies have been friends for over 40 years, and although their friendship started one way, it has transitioned to a completely different type of relationship. So I would like to welcome Bea Moore and Vernita Harris to the show. Thank you so much, ladies, for being here.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Sherry.
So I love the fact that you two ladies that you met in college, and I'm going to ask Vernita to share with us a little bit about how you two met, because it's a sweet story. And then we're going to talk about some of the things because what you're doing today looks nothing like when you met. So, and when you tell us where you met, tell us why you were there. How about?
Okay, Sherry. Well, it was the very first day of check-in at Prairie View A&M University in January of 1976. B and I were both freshmen coming in on the spring semester as opposed to the fall semester. So we didn't know anybody. And at that time, we checked in early and we were the only persons in the dormitory. So we had each other. We met moving in and we've been friends ever since.
Oh, that's awesome. Now you were there, and Vernita, what did you arrive at college to study?
I arrived at college to study nursing, but I changed out after 2 years to business and I changed to business marketing, where I have a bachelor's degree and an MBA in management.
Ah, well, that has served you, I'm sure, quite well these days.
Yes.
So I would love it, B, if you would share a little bit about what your background is coming into Pinch Dash Done, because it didn't start there. So we're going to find out a little bit more about you.
Yes. Hello, everybody. So happy to be here, Sherry, and thank you. So when I went to Prairie View, my major, I always knew I wanted to teach. I just didn't know what I wanted to teach, and I was, coerced into mathematics. So I got my degree in mathematics, and I got my minor in speech and journalism, and I'm a lifetime certified teacher here in the state of Texas. I've been a math teacher, high school, middle school math teacher, college level math, and also a mathematics supervisor. So it's like, it has nothing to do with cooking, right? No, it does, because math is all into cooking and everything. Teaching is into everything that I do. And so I'm just so fortunate that all of the things have merged together and created where we are now. So it is my joy to still be a teacher. And now we're just teaching people how to cook.
I love it. And speaking of cooking, so you guys, that the way your relationship has been, which has always been, a great friendship, sort of transitioned during the pandemic through a difficult time. And for a lot of people, life changed and careers changed and like pivoted, if you will, a little bit. So can you share a little bit about how we got to Pinch Dash Done? Because from teaching and business management, it seems a really far way away, although I believe cooking is the only way I know any math, but or enjoy any math. I'll have a quarter of that pie. No, anyway, so if you could share a little bit about how that transition came to be to being Pinch Dash Done.
Well, actually, it really all worked together seamlessly. Bernita, with her business mind, always looking for a way to capitalize on a situation, thought immediately that, wow, since we're posting pictures on Facebook and people are asking us for recipes continuously, she got in touch with me and said, hey, I got a proposition for you. And I said, what is it? And she said, let's write a cookbook. And so, our backgrounds really came together. And so I just think that everything that we ever needed, it was already there. And so with Vernita just really taking advantage of a situation and looking for the lemonade within the lemons of the pandemic, it was her idea. And I jumped on board happily because it did give me something else to do and just another way to share.
Well, and I know you guys have had some previous experience with writing together. And being an author has was not outside the realm of what you were both already doing because you're established authors, both of you. But this is a little bit of a deviation and it was a little different for you. So the interesting thing is you guys both have titles, which I always love to share this because one of you is the passionate cook and one of you is known as the reluctant cook. So I'm going to have the reluctant cook step forward and share why she holds that title.
Me. I'm the reluctant cook. I before the pandemic, I made great reservations. During the pandemic, I could no longer do that. I'm reluctant to cook. I can and I always have cooked, but I'm reluctant to cook because I hate the mess that comes after cooking. There's so much cleanup that's involved, and I try and clean as you go so it doesn't seem like such a big mess. But it's always helpful when you have helpers there who, if they'll watch you cook, they'll do the cleaning. But with us, when we're working, there could be a lot done. So I'm the reluctant cook.
I love it, which leads us to the passionate cook, and that is B. So, B, go ahead and tell us how you earned that.
Well, I earned it simply because I absolutely love to cook. It is absolutely nothing to have 50 people over for dinner, and I cook everything. I tell them, don't bring anything other than ice or maybe water, and that's it. I believe in farm to table opportunities to cook. I have an herb garden. I have a small space garden, so you don't need a lot of room. I encourage people to actually grow as much as possible because fresh is always better. And I am passionate about cooking because it is a way for us to stay healthy and have more control over what is going into our bodies, especially in this time where everything is genetically modified. And so it just gives us more ownership in our bodies and taking control of our health. So I am passionate, and also, cooking is a love language. So hey, what can I say?
Yeah,
It's
absolutely. Same for me. I love people with cooking. So that is just, and you guys have had like incredible success. I just want to point that out. And I would love for Vernita, would you share a little bit with our viewers when you put the cookbook out and you got it all together and beautiful pictures and I believe it's like 180 pages, correct?
Yes.
Right. And it's a gorgeous cookbook, which of course has very yummy recipes in it. But I want to have, Vernita, I want to have you share a little bit about where some of the recipes came from, how the development of that came to be, and really just some background on what's in the cookbook. And I want you to talk about the success as well.
Okay. Um, the success of the cookbook came out in November of 2020. Within less than 30 days, we made Houston Chronicles top 10 cookbooks of the year, which was a huge surprise to us because also on that list was Martha Stewart and other James Beard winning authors. And to even be in that company was very humbling to us. And it was just amazing because we were just writing a cookbook to help friends and families take their minds off of the pandemic and have recipes that could um, uh, just expand their repertoire from what they were preparing at home. So it's been a great and phenomenal run. Uh, we are excited about our second cookbook that's coming out soon, and it's just been a big blessing. It's just been one thing after the other, one surprise, and we were just doing something to occupy our mind and help employ some people who were laid off during or companies that were laid off during the pandemic.
I love that. And I know you guys do really have a heart for community. And I know that Pinch Dash Done, which is such a fabulous title. I do want B, if you would share a little bit, because there is a very philanthropic piece to Pinch Dash Done, which actually aligns with your heart centered, both of you heart centered leaders. Can you share, B, a little bit about what that is, that the way that you're helping?
Yes, absolutely. As Vernita said, we looked at this as an opportunity to also help other entrepreneurs, small businesses to get a paycheck during the pandemic. And so we took part of our stimulus money that we got back and put it into our business to pay photographers, to pay editors, to pay production companies, the ones who made our films, and all of those things. And it really gave us the opportunity to give back to the community. And we are more than a cookbook. That is part of what we tell everybody. We're more than just a cookbook. We also have a partnership with the Houston Food Bank, and we do give back part of our proceeds from the sale of every book to the Houston Food Bank to fight food insecurity in the Southeast Texas region. And our food bank is one of the largest in the country. We also are establishing a scholarship endowment for Prairie View A&M University for those students who are interested in going into agribusiness, another way to fight food insecurity long term. So we have some short-term opportunities to fight food insecurity, as well as long-term, making sure that those students who want to go into those career paths that will do something to, establish meaningful and economical ways of providing food, that's able to be done.
It's just so amazing to me. I'm just so proud of the effort that you've combined with what you're very passionate about. And I think, when you can, really have those things come together, and it really is sort of a labor of love. So you guys have lots of other things on the horizon. We've got some different opportunities that are coming up. When we come back from this break, we're going to actually hear a little bit more about some of the other things that you two are up to. So we'll be back right after this message.
Hello, I'm Bea, the passionate cook.
And I'm Vernita, the reluctant cook.
And we are so excited about our cookbook, Pinch Dash Done, a gateway to flavorful recipes. Our objective for this first edition of the Pinch Dash Done series is to bring families back together at the kitchen table to fellowship and create memories. We would also like to see a revival of home-cooked meals that provide flavorful options to anyone who wants to prepare a meal or a light bite at home, regardless of their level of cooking skill.
We're more than just a cookbook. We created an additional weapon to combat food insecurity on a short and long-term basis while researching inadequacies in the domestic and global food supply chain through two institutions, Houston Food Bank and Prairie View A&M University. Read more about these institutions on our website. And finally, we've provided support to numerous small businesses negatively impacted by the circumstances of 2020.
We invite you to be a part of our culinary journey. Please visit our website, pinch-done.com, to make a purchase of our cookbook and view our Wednesday weekly recipes. For the social media fans out there, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And don't forget to like and share. Pinch,
Dash,
and done.
And we are back with Vernita Harris and Bea Moore of Pinch Dash Done. And we've just been talking about this amazing cookbook that they have. And I am going to let you know that it is volume 1. And volume 2 is well on the way. And Bea, do we have an estimated time of release for volume 2?
It will be this spring, Sherry. We are so excited. We are ready. It's already gone. It is out of our hands. The recipes have been written. The pictures have been photographed. and now it is on its way to be printed. So we're really looking at a short timeline. It'll be sometimes this spring, maybe late March or early April.
Nice. I'm so excited about that. And you had such rave reviews on the first one, and I love the fact that you just shared, that that is really helping with food insecurity in the Houston area. And I love that you're continuing that mission with the Pinch Dash Done. And that it's a series, it's not just a one and done. This is a continual labor of love with both of you, and your hearts being in the project. I do want to ask, well, I want to take this moment to say thank you to both of you for being part of the Wow Warrior magazine, because it's such an honor to have both of you as a columnist for the Pinch Dash Done, for having that in the Wow Warrior magazine. So people are going to be tantalized with a lovely recipe in each issue of that magazine. So I'm so thankful for both of you for being part of that. So I want to talk a little bit about specifically about the recipes that you have in here. So I know that there is some there's like often a story or something that is actually behind a recipe that is the catalyst for it. Vernita, can you share a little bit about how you choose a recipe or how it comes to be in the book?
Well, that's a little bit easier than you may think. Bee has her recipes, and I have my recipes. My recipes are not as, say, complicated or lengthy because I don't want to be in the kitchen. So my recipes can usually are short or have shortcuts that allow you, or some changes, or just some different spices, or particular seasonings that are a little different than what's normally offered. And Bee's recipes, or the ones that Bee have either worked on or have kept for over the years, and Bee has always had a cookbook in her head. I have not. So that's another place where we are completely different. For me, a cookbook, most of my family and friends laughed when I said that I was co-author in a cookbook. So they were like, get out of here. And they're still saying that. Get out of here. B wrote all of these. I'm like, no, she did not. So,
Oh, I love it. The unexpected, not
oh
just
yeah,
the reluctant cook, but the unexpected cook.
but
I
that's
love
what
that
we have
so
to do
much.
nowadays.
And that's interesting, but that also speaks to all different types of readers and people that would pick up this cookbook, right?
Right.
Because that's not just it's not just for the person who loves to be in the kitchen. It's really a cookbook that is for everyone. And there's lots of different, I mean, you need to have that, right? Ones that are less complicated, ones that are like, it's gonna, yes, the whole
You have
scale.
to have the levels, because you have different levels of skill set. So if anyone from a beginner to someone who is as passionate as B will find something in this cookbook that they will be comfortable with.
And I think that's really a good point, is it really is, there is something for everyone. And there's all different types of recipes in it. B, can you share some of the different varieties of like categories of recipes and things like that so people can get an idea of what's in it?
Oh, absolutely. We have a chapter on drinks. We have a chapter on breads and butters. We have a chapter on desserts. We have our entrees. We have some light bites. And of course, there is always breakfast. And so, not everything is complicated, because we actually have an ice cream recipe that's only 3 ingredients that was created by the passionate cook. And I think one of the things that I would advocate more to everybody that's out there is to experiment with flavors, experiment with seasoning, because that's really what I do, and find combinations that really work for you. And I know during the pandemic, while people were shut in, people got bored with eating, and part of the boredom came from not having enough variety of spices. And so that's one of the things that is advocated in every single chapter is just to expand your spice cabinet. Expand, just move away from some traditional things and incorporate some new things, and voila, you will be absolutely surprised, and someday you might become passionate as well.
I think it's interesting. I know you said, that experimentation word there, like, that's me. I'm probably the experimental cook. I take a recipe and go, oh, and I know some of your gems have come from this process, but going, oh, I don't have this, that's missing. Maybe I'll try this in its place. And then you end up liking it better.
Right. And Sherry, if you ever sit down with Bea when she's eating, she's a scientist sitting there analyzing every taste, every season, every flavor. And I have learned from that. And she has taught me a lot. She taught me how to make ice cream, and ice cream is now one of my most favorite things to do. But Bea is a scientist in the kitchen. She's just not a cook. She's a
I think
scientist.
and that's such a fascinating thing that you bring up, Vernita, because that's a very mathematical thing, that science brain, right? But really cooking is very creative. So it's a very interesting combination to have both of those skill sets really in the mix there. So I do want to point out that if people want to have a little taste of Pinch Dash Done, I want you to talk a little bit, B, if you would, about the YouTube channel, because you do have some goodies up on there. If somebody wants to have a little sneak peek into what is in Pinch Dash Done.
Absolutely. We invite you to go over to our YouTube channel, Pinch Dash Done, on YouTube. And we do have some recipes that we have filmed from start to finish. We give you the ingredients list on some of them, and others, we just refer you to go to the book. But you can follow step by step directions, get a sense of what it looks like, not what it smells like. I wish we had smell-o-vision in addition to our YouTube channel. But you do get a really good idea of just how simple it is, how easy it is, and it really helps. It's one thing to see a recipe on paper and try to envision it in your head, but when you have the video to go along with it, then it all comes together. So we do have that available. Go to YouTube, Pinch Dash Done, and we've got probably about a dozen recipes from start to finish on there.
Oh, how awesome is that? So I do want to remind our viewers that you can go to pinch-done.com to grab your autographed copy. They will send it directly to you with their autograph in it, which how amazing is that? You can also get it at amazon.com. Of course, I encourage you to support the authors, Bea and Vernita, and get that autographed copy and get it directly from them. But you do you, and just be sure you grab a copy of Pinch Dash Done, reminding you that you are going to be seeing Pinch Dash Done Volume 2 coming up very shortly. And there will be some notifications also in the Wow Warrior magazine, for which I do want to thank both of you for being part of that endeavor. I want to thank you so much, ladies. I'm so pleased to have kicked off this show series with both of you, incredible, powerful Wow Warriors, women who are lighting the way for other women, showing them that there is no boundary to what can be done in life, and that opportunity abounds, and you just have to grab it and take it and run with it and just be in love with the journey. So thank you so much, Vernita Harris. Thank you so much, Bea Moore. I appreciate both of you, and I'm so thankful that you were able to help me kick off this show.
Thank you, Sherry.
Our
Have a great
pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank